So anyways, she was like, yeah, I'll do it. And it was a huge relief for me. Like, I was like a weight off of my chest. But at first, I still kind of didn't believe it. I was kind of like, you say that, but you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And so Chris came back, and actually it was my stepmother-in-law and Chris's dad. It's his wife that we had asked, and they came back. And so on the drive home, because we were up in Salt Lake, I asked Chris's dad, I was like, so what do you think about Tonga carrying our baby? And he was like, huh? Like, he kind of, I don't know, how do you explain it?
It was lost in translation.
He was kind of like, yeah, we just won't tell nobody. Like, we'll tell him it's our baby. And I go, no, Lovie, it's our baby. Like, he was like so confused with the whole process and how it all worked. And like, he was like, yeah, we just won't tell nobody. And we're like, it's okay. And Tonga was like, no, it's their baby. We can tell people. So anyways, the sweet thing went through all these tests, because you first have to go through a medical exam. Well, first they have a consultation with her to let her know this is what you're going to go through. And so she came to the consultation. I went with her. It was like a 30-minute to a 45-minute consultation. They basically break everything down. That we're in charge of all financial costs for it. We're in charge of maternity clothes, any time off of work that she loses. Just anything, any financial obligation, we would be responsible for it. And there are certain things that she could put in the contract if she wanted to. So it was like this whole like really like
the legality is just
seriousness. Yeah. And our sweet mother-in-law, my stepmother-in-law, who's from Tonga and has never given birth in a hospital, they're asking her all these medical questions, and she's like, huh? What? She had like no idea. And she'd like look at me, and I'm like, I think you're okay. And she's like, yeah, I think so too. So it was just kind of fun to go, like fun and weird to go through it, because she was like, we don't have this in Tonga. We don't have this kind of stuff. So then after that, she went through a medical examination. And what they did is they went in to go make sure that everything's looking good on the inside, because even with her age, as long as her uterus was still in good standing, we were okay. So when they did that, they had found out that she had polyps, which is something that I've had. And so she had to have a hysteroscopy done, and that was done like the end of January, right? So we got her all ready. Everything's good. We go do a psych eval. Tonga and Lovie go and do it, who is Chris's dad and our stepmother-in-law. And then we go do the psych eval. And the questions they ask you are like very personal. Wouldn't you say so?
They dig deep.
They dig like super, super deep, and bring up a lot of like, if you've been hiding things or you've put things away.
They try to get it out.
Oh yeah. Like, it's pretty ugly. And you're paying like $800 for this.
And it was one session. So they're trying
and so they make it off of their opinion of you off of one like session. It was just like,
they're cramming like a month's worth of therapy into an hour.
It was just nuts. It was crazy. So we went through that, and Tonga and Lovie went through that. And so I told Chris, I said, I could only imagine your dad. If you know Chris's dad, I'm going to post a picture of him, because he looks like Bob Marley, but he's the Tongan version with the Rasta man and lots of long dreads. I said, I could only imagine him getting some of these questions, and him and Tonga both looking at the lady like, what are you asking this question for? You stupid question. Like, you know, it just like, I wish we could have been flies on the wall in their psych evaluation, because it would have been hilarious.
Well, my dad's very sarcastic.
Yeah.
So he probably was trying to joke with a therapist.
Yeah.
And she probably was not finding it very funny.
Yeah. Or like, even when they ask questions, like, he did tell us that they asked one question like, do you ever hit your children? And we're Polynesian, okay? So obviously it's different in our culture. Not saying that we're planning on doing that or anything like that, but Lovie was kind of like, yeah, when they needed, yeah. So Chris and I were like, did you pass the evaluation? And he's like, yeah, she said we passed. It was hilarious. We were cracking up because they told us the experience, and kind of we had a similar experience, and we were just like, well, yeah, we were disciplined when we were kids, but it wasn't anything extreme or anything like that. So it was just kind of stuff that was very, Chris and I would look at each other because we're like, do we do we say the truth?
Or how do we go
Or
with these
do
answers?
we just kind of like sugarcoat it because we don't want her to think anything about it?
We didn't know what to do.
So that was like the first other process that we had to go through. And then we started working on the legal side of things. And that is just a whole nother can of worms, which they want you to do a home study, which a home study is basically, like I said, they come and make sure that everything's okay and that all the circumstances, you do background checks, you do this, you do that. And if you have anything, pretty much anything on your record, they're going to shut you down. And so our lawyer had told us, like, call the agency, get some reports, and then see what they say. Because we were very upfront and honest with them and said, hey, this is our circumstances and our situation. We have this that we're dealing with. What do you think? And he said, I think you guys need to get your report and then go give it to them. And so we did, and we were super hopeful. The lady I talked to, she was like, oh, I understand. This happened a long time ago, blah, 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 blah.
She was super helpful, super nice.
Yeah, and really, really nice. And she's like, it's me and 3 other people that make this decision. And if it works out, then...
It opens a lot of doors, though.
Yeah, like not only do you guys get to do this, but then you can adopt in the future.
And it's already on record.
And so Chris and I were like ecstatic. We saw this as a door opening for us because we've always talked about adopting kids. And so we did everything. We got all the paperwork. We put it in. And she called us and she gave us a message. And she pretty much just told us like, sorry. She said, I'm sorry. Like, we can't approve you guys right now. And that was really hard just because we know what happened and the circumstances that were involved, and it was a long time ago, and it doesn't define the person anymore. Like, that's what pisses me off the most, is it's like, we believe in the gospel and we believe in the atonement, and we believe that like once you make your amends, you make your amends. And so we'll leave it there. And it was just hard. And it was hard for him. You gonna say anything?
That sucks. It was my background that popped. Just had some stuff that I did a long time ago, like she was saying.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does suck that I've been classified with certain people. But, I mean...
Well, and for him, he was like, this was my opportunity to step up to the bat because
do something.
You've put your body through so much, and I'm the one that's keeping us from this. And I just told him, I was like, hon, I don't care. It's another, hurdle that we get to climb over. And I don't care because I know, like, for me, I know my husband and I know his heart, and I know, I know he's a good person, and I wish that they would see that and not see what's on a piece of paper. And a lot of people that know Chris know that he's a really good person, and he would give you anything and would do so much for everybody. And so it was really frustrating that was the block in our road. We had found a gestational carrier, we passed the psyche valve, and now boom, here's that. So we were like, okay, here we go. And I kind of just put it off, like, you know what, that's okay, we're gonna find a lawyer, we're gonna get a different lawyer, not the gestational carrier lawyer, but a different lawyer for this, to get this sealed up and expunged and taken care of so it's done with. Like, we ain't got to deal with this anymore, and I don't care what it costs. And we are planning on doing that. So that's something that is in the works, but it was just kind of heart-wrenching because we were working towards that, and we felt like another door closed.